Hello and welcome to this 100% completion walkthrough guide for the game Gun, Gun, Gun. We should try and aim to get you all the trophies plus the platinum trophy. I'm not going to show you all the trophies individually, but we will kind of group some together as most of the trophies are fairly similar within this game. There are 50 trophies to collect, which is a nice haul for this particular game, and it should take you around 15 to 20 hours depending on your skill and luck. So we're going to start with the prologue, so the first trophy pops immediately, and then we will just run through this little bit of story, and the prologue is particularly short but will teach you the kind of core dynamics of the game. So the controls are very simple, you just kind of run and gun, so point your laser in a direction and then just fire. Try and hit as many people as you can, obviously. People will drop weapons and cash. This is important. You try and collect as many of the coins as possible, as one of the trophies we'll get at the very end is to gain $1 million worth of bounty, and those coins do help towards that particular bounty, so I would advise you to collect as many of those as possible without kind of putting yourself in too much danger if you are still looking for some of the kind of survive trophies. So that's the first objective done. We did it all in one go, so we got the 10 times bonus. And I guess just a little note on the trophies. They are very glitchy at unlocking. So what I will be doing for a lot of this game is I will play one game and then I will exit back out to the PlayStation menu. Then I will restart the game and go back in. A lot of the trophies will then unlock at the start of the next game, or sometimes the start of the game after that, depending on the particular trophy. There seems to be no kind of consistency in terms of how those trophies unlock, but they do not generally unlock if you just keep playing a big long single game. Also, it should be noted that the game also doesn't count your kills or your money very well, so another reason for restarting every time you finish a level is that the counter sometimes doesn't continue to count up, so restarting and starting again seems to make the counter behave in a more natural manner and continue to count all the kills that you're doing. Really frustrating when you've done like 3 or 4 levels in a row and then you would load up again at the start of the next play session and your stats would immediately be less than what they were at the end of your previous play session, which is why you'll notice I check the stats quite a bit. It's just to ensure that I know what the stats should be, and then I can see if the game is kind of mugging me off by not counting all of the stuff it should be counting. You might not necessarily get all the trophies that I get during the prologue. I had played the PS4 version before this is the PS5 version that I'm recording, so I was already fairly experienced in how to play the game. A lot of the trophies can be unlocked to the prologue like you're seeing here, but you might not necessarily get to them if this is the first time you are playing this game. I guess just to talk about the levels, so there are I think 5 or 6 different levels, maybe more than that are not randomly generated. The order is randomly generated. You can randomly end up in any level at the start of any kind of game, but there are only a couple of levels that are good for getting you these kind of long kill streaks, and that's what you'll need for later on in the game is long kill streaks. So you can see at the top your gun is in the left corner, so here I've got a Kalashnikov. I've just picked up a different gun. You've got 5 lives, so as I get hit, those lives will, there you go, I got a couple of lives knocked off there. Your multiplier is in the middle, so this will count up to 30 as a maximum. You cannot go beyond 30, it will just stay at 30, and it does time out, so if you don't hit something for a period of time it will reset. And what we want to do is we want to be having that 30 bonus as long as possible. Then in the far right is your actual game score, so you can see it counting up. This is, you'll need to get at least $1 million for the Gunpocalypse trophy, so try not to keep an eye on it, to be honest, because it will distract you from actually killing people. So you should get the Gunpocalypse trophy if you play this game for a long enough time, because you will just get better by default, and you will learn which levels are better for getting that particular trophy. As I said, there's kind of 2 or 3 levels I would stick to each time I tried to restart the game. And if you do get the wrong level at the start of the game, you can just kind of exit out and then go back in again and kind of flip through levels until you get the level that you actually want. So this is one of the good levels, and I'll kind of show you why it's one of the good levels. So just get to the far side, and there is, here you can see a big flat surface, and the people are coming from below, so they have to jump up in order to kind of reach you, which means that you immediately get an advantage while you're firing at that level. So this is a really good one, and I will get some of the trophies on this level later. The trophies are very simple, so it's just a case of getting an amount of kills for quite a lot of them. So using each gun and getting a number of kills with each gun will be harder for some guns than others. So I would tend to use the MP5, the Kalashnikov, and the Martini Henry, or Henry Martini, I can never remember which way around it is, as those are the kind of 3 best guns. I guess the buckshot and the Schenken, I don't know how to pronounce that one, are okay but are not great, and the Rhino is pretty much useless. And your starting gun isn't that bad, so just remember that you do have to get kills with these starting guns, so you don't always need to pick stuff up. I think that's the USP that we've just seen pop up as a trophy there. A lot of these trophies will pop at the start of the game. So that's it's the Skitchen is this gun. It's got a really good fire rate, but the clip's exhausted kind of immediately as you finish it, so it doesn't allow you many opportunities. Whereas you can see this Martini Henry has a kind of special skill. It is a one-shot kill gun usually, other than heavies who take 2 shots, but it can also go through elements of the environment, so you can kill a number of people. It will also wipe out bullets coming towards you. So this is why I kind of developed a methodology of just fire, reload, fire, reload, fire, reload with this particular gun. The only problem is obviously the guys with TNT that come towards you. So I'd watch out for those. Try and shoot the TNT, because then they explode immediately. You'll see if I shoot them in the body, they drop or they throw the TNT up in the air. So that hasn't happened at the moment. There may be an example where we can see that happening later in the game. But at the moment I managed to take them out. The issue is when they throw it in the air is that it can often land on you, or you have to jump, and then sometimes you'll even lose a life to the splash damage anyway. So at the moment the trophies are actually been not too bad to me. So the start of the game seems okay. It seems like the later in the game that you get, the worse the trophies get unlocking. We've just unlocked the Gunpocalypse trophy, which is to pass 1 million. Again, this may not unlock immediately. You may have to restart to get it to unlock, or you may have to actually get the 1 million points several times. But as I said, you'll need to get the 1 million in bounty. You'll need to get past 1 million more than a couple of times anyway. Little cheeky one there where the heavy dropped in behind me, which was a bit cheeky there. That's why you try and be up against the side of the level so that you can't actually get anything in behind you, but that didn't work on that occasion. There are some unlockables called hats, so this entire board of hats needs to be bought. All of them are different prices. You would hope that the hats would give you different abilities or different powers. This actually isn't the case, so just buy them at random, anyone you fancy. There isn't a particular thing that they do, which is unfortunate. So here I'm just kind of going to exit out of the game and restart the game. As mentioned, I'm just going to check the stats before I did that, just to make sure the stats match up when I get back into the game. So it's important that I'm just understanding. Seems to be worse on the PS5, to be honest, where it doesn't save the data quite as regular. Also with the hats as well, you can see I purchased a few, and then when I restarted the game it had kind of not registered those purchases. So you just have to sometimes make sure that you're quitting out regularly and doing things in a certain way to get the trophies to unlock. There are 3 trophies for the hats, one of them for purchasing 10, I think for purchasing 20, and then for purchasing them all. So you will end up needing all of these hats in the end anyway, and that'll be one of your last trophies that you get, because it takes quite a lot of coins in order to buy all those hats. Don't worry about spending your coins, because the million bounty that you have to collect is cumulative and not inventory driven, so you don't have to have those amount of coins in your inventory, so don't worry about spending your money. But you will eventually that's all you had to spend your money on in this game, so that'll be the one thing that you need to, again, collect as many coins as possible. This isn't a bad gun. Again, this one has kind of different limitations, and I would use it if needed, but I would prefer the MP5, the Kalashnikov, or the Martini Henry. As previously discussed, these were my 3 favourite guns. If you have a favourite gun, please let me know in the comment section below. It would be great to see if different people were better with kind of different types of gun. You can see a little bit in that clip back there where I didn't manage to hit the TNT carrying guy in the TNT. I hit him in the body and he kind of threw it up in the air, like a bit like that. So sometimes they'll not necessarily just throw them like straight up. They'll sometimes throw them kind of in your direction. So just watch out for that. And when the screen becomes particularly packed, that does become a little bit of an issue, as you're just kind of firing for your own survival. Again, always remember to collect the coins. They will disappear after a short amount of time, so it is important that you do kind of go towards them and collect them, as long as it's safe to do so. Again, depending on what your aim is for the run, if you're aiming to either survive the 5 minutes or collect the 1 million, I would say don't go out of your way to collect things if you're doing a kind of specific task. So again, just keep reloading the game to ensure that everything unlocks. I just unlocked a trophy for the heavy hitting me. The trophy was called Ow. So obviously that one's pretty easy. They will. I don't know how that didn't unlock, to be fair, the first time. And you'll see I've reloaded the game again, and the trophies will start to unlock at the start of the next game. So I think I get a couple of trophies here that have just kind of been unlocked in the background, in terms of buying hats and the amount of money I had in the bank. So don't get disappointed if trophies don't unlock, just keep kind of reloading, and eventually they should unlock if you have got them, and if not, just carry on, play another game and then just try again, which is why I exited out after every game. The reloads are important in this game. It does take a while to reload some of the guns. I think this is the Rhino, and this one is one of the guns that I wouldn't recommend using, just because it doesn't have very many bullets. It does kill people quickly, but it takes ages to reload, so I never found that it kind of helped me get through this game. But you do have to use all the guns, and there obviously are trophies for killing certain amounts of enemies with each gun, so you will kind of, as you want to go through the game, you will either just get those kills naturally, or you'll have to actually use that particular gun. This is another great level for kind of farming kills. So anywhere where you've got a flat platform with one side of the level kind of protected are the levels that I would recommend. The other levels, you're a bit too exposed. When people start coming from both sides, it's just impossible to kind of defend against. And this is kind of where I get the sightseeing trophy as well, because I'm just, all I'm doing is firing. You will, with some guns, move backwards due to the kind of recoil of the gun. So I would advise, if you want to get the sightseeing trophy, just to kind of park yourself against something and fire, so you can't actually move. It won't register you as moving, which is obviously what the sightseeing trophy is based around, not moving for, I think it's 30 seconds without dying. You do attract a lot of, there you are, so that's that. I'm not going to say you do attract quite a lot of enemies though when you do use that methodology and you're using the wrong gun. So now I've got the Kalashnikov. It's got lots of bullets. That's the thing about the Kalashnikov, is that it does have a large amount of bullets and does quite a lot of damage. So in that way, that's why it's one of the better guns. Always keep checking the extras, just to see where you are, how much money you've got, and if you've got more hats that you can buy. Again, the hats don't do anything. I don't understand why they included them if they weren't kind of meant to be like power-ups that change the game a little bit. That would have definitely been something that I would hope they would have put into the game, would have made it a bit more kind of three-dimensional. The game does get very tiring after a while. It is very samey, and like I said, you can only kind of get good on certain levels, so you end up playing those same levels again and again, and it gets a little bit repetitive. A lot of the trophies were done up front in a kind of, I think after about 2 hours I'd done the kind of majority of the trophies, and that just left the bounty trophy and the last woman standing trophy, and obviously the last hat trophy as well as the last 3 trophies that I needed, which took a more amount of time to complete. So as you play through the game, as I said, it will take you kind of 15 to 20 hours depending on, because obviously it is based on luck, so you may have some games where you manage to get a few more kills than that. So this is the bit where I'm going to just keep restarting to find the right level, so just exiting out and starting. Again, this is a really good level for farming kills. Again, you've got a flat surface with the rest of the area below you, and then kind of one area you can, or the edge of the screen, sorry, where you can kind of back yourself up against if needed. So this is definitely one of the 4 levels that you will see quite a lot of, and they're that kind of restart methodology where you just kind of going out, coming in to make sure you've got those right levels is important. Unless you want to play the levels that are a bit harder, that's obviously up to you, but the thing I found was that it would take you a lot longer to get the amount of kills, because the best way to get kills is obviously to have the 30 times bonus up for as long as possible, and if you have that up for a elongated period of time, easy for me to say, then you will obviously rack up the score quicker and have to play less levels. So that's the kind of methodology behind it, really. Now the heavies obviously take a lot of punishment, which is why you really want to have a kind of Martini Henry at this point, just so that 1 or 2 kill shots, but obviously you are randomly dropped guns, so I'm looking out for that gun. I've got an MP5 at the moment, so I'm pretty happy with the gun that I've got. I went to pick up the health there, I kind of missed it. So you can also pick up the guns in an order, so it will always be the last gun you pick up, obviously that's the one that it goes with. So for example, if you see like 3 or 4 guns and one of them you particularly want, try and pick that one up last, as that will then carry over as you go. Any pickups you do pick up will also reload your magazine. So you can see the yellow kind of boxes are for full magazine, the green boxes are for health, so those will be dropped as well as the weaponry that's dropped by most of the, and the coins that are dropped by most of the enemies that are coming towards you. It is a very simple game. I do like the concept though. I do like the kind of bullet hell type thing that it's going for, but I think they could have just done slightly more with the concept and made it a bit more interesting, or a bit less grindy, just because of all that time that you've got to put in. I guess one thing to mention is it does have couch co-op, so you can play it in 2-player mode. Now I didn't get the chance to do this, so I'm not sure whether that counts towards your stats. I imagine it would do, or whether it's actually harder with 2 players, because obviously you have half a screen each, should have a lot less visibility. But it might be worth, if anybody has managed to play this in 2-player mode, or has any opinions on that, if you leave me a comment in the comment section below, that would be great to see whether that makes it easier or harder. I imagine with 2 people it will make it slightly less repetitive, because you're getting kind of double the points, is what I'd imagine. But like I said, I didn't play in the 2-player couch co-op mode, so unfortunately I didn't have that experience. That's another round where I've managed to get over 1 million. You want to look at your bounty in the far right corner once the level has ended. That obviously counts up towards your 1 million that you have to get collectively. Obviously checking the hats to see if I've got enough money to buy the newest hat. I'll try and buy the least expensive ones first, and then you'll obviously get sometimes just random trophies popping up. So that's just told me I've killed 1,000 bandits, which is not bad for about half an hour, 45 minutes into the game, I would say. Again, I did have some experience. You can play this on both PS4 and PS5, so there are 100 trophies in total if you want to do both versions. If anyone also knows any other games like this or any similar style games that they want me to check out, that would be great, because like I said, I do enjoy this kind of run and gun platform type game. So if there are any similar that are maybe a bit more interesting, that'd be really good. Again, drop those down in the comments section below, or give me a message on either of the social medias, either X or Twitter. They're the same, either X or Facebook, where you can find us at How2 Trophies, or you can obviously like, share and subscribe on here. That'd be great, and we love to hear all your comments and all the interaction. That would be amazing. Much appreciated, thank you. So as you can see, sometimes you will get a bit more lucky with coins than others, so just try and collect them while you've got a little bit of a lull. I put a chef's hat on here for no reason. This is another level that's kind of okay, but there is a little drawback to this, that they can kind of run underneath you, so sometimes it'll end up breaking your combo. So although you can get quite a nice score on here, it's not one of the kind of more recommended levels that I would go with. You do have to watch a lot for parachuters on this level as well, so you get quite a lot of people coming in via parachute. Again, because that's RNG, it can depend on the level. So there's one coming in there, especially when they are kind of people with dynamite. It can be even harder because they can then throw the dynamite at you as you hit them. Just going to buy a few more of these random hats for reasons. You'd think one of them would actually give you some kind of extra skills. As you can see, my lifetime earnings, I've only earned just over 60,000 so far, and I've bought 20 of the hats. So this is why it's going to be such a long grind to get that bounty trophy. Again, this is one of our favourite levels, so we're back to this one. Again, you can see the principle of it having like a flat bit, and these are kind of the couple of levels that you want to be based on. Once you've got the 500 kills trophy per gun, you can either switch to a different gun or just continue to use that gun. As I said, once you've got all the 500 kills trophies for each gun, then it's kind of that you can use whichever you want. So just watch out for those trophies appearing, and then once you've finished them, you can kind of just stick to the guns that you really like. You don't have to start using the ones that are not that great, so it will take you a while. I think the Rhino is one of the last ones I unlocked because of how much I don't like it. As well, if you are faced with this situation, which was an absolute nightmare, do jump backwards and forwards, because the heavies will turn around and start heading in the opposite direction. So rather than just kind of firing at them, if you jump over them, they'll start turning in the other direction, and you can quickly jump behind them and get a few more shots in before they turn back. So that's a viable tactic as well. Obviously try not to let them get too close to you, because they will take 2 bits of life off in one go, which is a bit brutal if you get 2 of them coming at you like I did there. So again, we'll just exit at the end of the game and reload. A lot of your time is going to be spent doing that per PS5. And then again, we're just kind of choosing the right level, kind of getting back to this level. Which again is one that provides a platform, but the platform is really short. So the problem with this one is you also can't, you have to be right on the edge to hit the people below and get your combinations. So yeah, it's not one that we choose to use going forwards, due to how hard it can be just to keep that combo going. That combo is the most important part of the game, because that gets you both the score and will help you get more bounty. I'm not actually sure if the combo relates to bounty as well, so but it may well do. It is a shame that this game didn't kind of expand on the themes that it already had. So there are no real different game modes, there's just this particular mode. So there's scope for kind of various other modes that you could maybe have put in here to make the game a little bit more varied, and help that kind of repetitiveness that you end up with when you get to kind of the midpoint of the game and you're just kind of grinding for those last few trophies. So there is a PS4 and a PS5 version, as I've previously mentioned. The trophy lists are exactly the same for both, so you can get 100 trophies just by playing this game on both consoles. So in many ways it is a good trophy hunting game, but you're gonna have to sort of be aware that it will probably take you in the region of 30 to 35 hours to complete them between the two games. But if you are going to play them back to back, you will get that advantage of knowing everything by the time you come to play it the second time, if you've managed to stave off the boredom the first time of playing. As this is a 2017 game as well, there hasn't been a follow-up as we speak. It's 2026 currently, which is 9 years later, so you might have expected there to be a follow-up if there was going to be one. Looking on the kind of usual sites for gaming numbers, it appears that maybe not many people have actually picked up this game, so there probably wasn't a wide audience, unfortunately, which is maybe due to people just not understanding the game, or maybe it not getting the exposure to many of the sites that you would usually kind of. I guess it also depends on how often it's on sale on the PlayStation Store. I probably picked this up when it was on sale, and I would, if it is on sale, kind of recommend it if it's at a fairly cheap price. I would say maybe around the kind of £3 to £5 mark might be a really good price to pick this game up, especially since it's cross-buy and you get the PS4 and the PS5 version together. So that will really kind of help reduce the costs and give you the most amount of trophies for your money. Do like a PlayStation Store sale. Not so much these days, but obviously during the old pandemic time, I did buy a lot of games. You'll see a lot of my videos are focused around kind of older games, and that's mainly because I did buy a lot of them during the pandemic, and I'm just catching up now on the back catalogue that I've got, which is quite vast. So just working through that and trying to fit some more kind of different games in there, so not just indie games, as this very much is an indie game, trying to do a mixture of indie games and maybe some more popular games, or populist games, should I say, just to give the channel a bit more variety. If you do enjoy my videos, as usual, please just interact on any of the social medias that I've mentioned, or any of the things on YouTube. It really does help and really does kind of motivate me to keep going. Sometimes as a smaller YouTube channel, it can seem a bit like screaming into the void, but it's really appreciated when I do get those kind of comments or feedback. Feedback's always a plus. It'll help me direct the channel in the direction that you guys want, or improve whichever way we need to enable us to get some more views. So as we go through the kind of middle to back end of this game, again we're just unlocking the later weapons trophies, playing those levels that we get the most kills with, and trying to get the maximum score possible. There isn't a leaderboard for the game, so you can't tell what the maximum score was. I will get a very high score later in this video, but I'm not going to reveal that just yet. Obviously I've already got the 1 million, so it's kind of spoiler alert, it's going to be a lot more than 1 million that we get to in the kind of later game. And it's a little bit about skill. You will obviously develop your skill over the time you have with this game, and it will enable you to get higher scores a lot easier, and just know how to deal with things. It is important you do keep as many, this goes without saying really, keep as many lives with you as possible. When you start to lose lives, like I just did there, that was a horrible transition. I don't know kind of what I was thinking. Again, this is one of the guns that isn't the best, so it's probably not down to that, but I'm going to blame that anyway. So yeah, not a great one. You will get some of them where you really don't manage to get very far, even though you've been playing the game for quite a while. Try and collect as many of the coins as possible, as mentioned, so these are important. And if you start a level and there is a coin kind of directly in front of you, might as well go and get it, even if it's not in the position that you intend to end up in. This one is this level is okay. I think we've touched on it previously, but I have managed to get some high scores on this level. Unlike some of the other levels where I just didn't manage to get a high score kind of ever. Getting fairly peppered on this though, because I am using the Rhino, which is, as I previously said, not the best gun at all. So that level that we were just on is one where I just never got a high score, so I never really revisited it. But thankfully I got the 500 kills with the Rhino there. That was one of, I think it was the last weapons trophy I got, actually, just because of how much I sucked at playing with the Rhino, which is a bit of a weird sentence to say. Playing with that gun, that's how much I sucked at playing with that gun, called the Rhino, or Rhino. So now we've got the weapons trophies out of the way, I can just fully concentrate on sticking with my best weapons. I don't have to change at all, so from here going forwards I will probably only ever use kind of the 3 or 4 weapons that I really like. Sometimes you can't help picking up a weapon that isn't great, or sometimes you can't. You just need that reload to get the people off your back when you're in the later stage of a level. Again, looking and making sure there is another option for you, the weapon that you want. So it may well be at the kind of right hand side of the screen here, and it's about picking your time in order to jump across to get that weapon. So at the moment I'm obviously like fighting them off with this this gun. There is a Kalashnikov like right in front of me, so you just need to nudge forwards and ensure you pick that up, and that should help me kind of going forwards. Did you get a little bit of luck there with the guy throwing the TNT and it not hitting me, just kind of going backwards. So again, just try and hit the TNT is kind of my top tip for those guys, to kind of keep them out of your face. You see I've managed to get to the 2 million mark here, so I'm going to get so close to the 5 minutes, which is actually quite a hard trophy. You will kind of struggle to get that, because there isn't really any hiding places unless you're more skilled than me at jumping around the level and kind of jumping out of the way of bullets. That isn't my particular skill. As you can see, I get hit by some stray bullets there. But once there are kind of 3 or 4 heavies coming at you at once, like there are here, I've not got a lot of chance. So let's go to the stats. You can see I was 4 seconds short of the 300 seconds that I needed. But jump back into this level, I'm already at the kind of 2 million mark. So I think this is the time where I managed to actually last the 5 minutes that needed. So obviously it counts in seconds in the menu, but 5 minutes is 300 seconds. So that's what you're looking for in that menu in terms of your longest game lasted. And again, I don't think the trophy actually unlocks, so just play for as long as you possibly can. Don't worry about the time. If the trophy unlocks, brilliant, but as I mentioned, the trophies are not great at unlocking at the right time for this particular one. So there's a lot of coins there I could have gone and got, but because I was concentrating on the 5 minutes, I wanted to ensure that I got that rather than collecting all those kind of coins that I could have done, as I was like to take a lot of hits if I went out into that kind of the area kind of beyond this this flat piece that I'm stood on here, this flat kind of trailer that I'm stood on. Getting towards the 3.5 million now, so and again you will start to have more of these runs kind of as you get later in the game. If you're lucky, picked up a Rhino for some reason. Just trying to pick up that coin that was in front of me. Kind of ended up hurting my run a little bit maybe, but just using the shotgun isn't bad, the buckshot isn't bad. It's one of the kind of okay guns. If there's a health around, always try and grab the health. And then you see the problem was that I kind of had the wrong gun for the amount of heavies that were coming at me. So I managed to last 348 seconds that time, so that's my obviously new record. I should have popped that 300 seconds or 5 minutes trophy for last woman standing. So quickly just reloading, as we have done previously in the game, checking my hats and then checking the stats to make sure it's saved. So now you can see my longest time survived is at 3:48:20. So in theory the trophy should pop. Just loading into the next level, and kind of, even though it's not a level I would usually recommend playing in, just playing in it, hoping that the trophy will pop. It can take kind of 30 seconds, 45 seconds, and there you can see the trophy does unlock. So don't be dismayed if it doesn't unlock like initially. It will kind of eventually unlock, and I just do continue on this level because you might as well keep killing, but it's not a great level. Again, I've just bought all the hats, so I want to make sure that I've not missed one and that the trophy will unlock. So just doing a sweep of the entire board. Obviously at the top right it usually says how much it would cost, so again we load into that level, and lastly this one, which is a better level for getting kills, and that hat trophy will unlock, so that season pass trophy unlocks there. Now we just have the one final remaining trophy to go, which is the dreaded 1 million bounty trophy, which I think it took me about maybe 5 hours after that season pass trophy to actually get the 1 million bounty trophy. I'm obviously going to shorten that for you because a video that long would probably leave me short of words after quite a while. But doing this, this is another good level. Again, the methodology is find somewhere flat where people are kind of below you. This one people do come from above as well, so it's a little bit harder, but they do have obstacles to jump over, so you can kind of see them coming, and you get these people jumping off the horses at the bottom, which is a little bit different. And parachuting, I should say jetpacking in then for me, it's a parachute, and parachuting in. So we'll just continue to play through. Again, just keep checking your stats, and then you should work out on average how many games you've got to play in order to get to that 1 million. So if you're earning kind of on average kind of 5,000 bounty per round, you can just calculate how many games you have to play and try and beat that kind of average 5,000. Try and increase that as you go through the game. Make some kind of smart decisions. Again, it's another game I've managed to get to kind of the 1 million mark. Once you get past that, it does get a bit harder. So you do get more enemies on screen. You get more heavies kind of in a row. You see, I had 3 coming at one point there. So I've managed 7,000, or basically 7,000 worth of bounty. So that's finally taken me over that lifetime earnings. So I've finally got that 1 million. Again, the trophy didn't unlock, so I'm going to do the reload, and then we're going to get that final trophy and that platinum, hopefully. So again, just load in. It can take, again, 30 to 45 seconds for that trophy to pop. After I've killed this first lot, the most wanted trophy will pop, and then that followed by that platinum. That brings us to a close for this guide for Gun Gun Gun. Thank you for watching. If you've got this far, please like, share and subscribe to us here at How To Trophies. I've been Dan. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you soon. Take care.